I would normally never endorse such things. This is a pre-built computer. We live in a very strange age where altcoin mining has destroyed the GPU market, and it's normally extraordinarily weird for us to recommend a pre-built computer, but right now, a lot of these pre-built systems still have the graphics cards at the regular MSRP, so you end up getting a really good deal.
We have from Best Buy, I know, but it's a pre-built. It's actually from CyberPower PC. It's got an RX 550 Armor from MSI, a B350 motherboard, a Ryzen 5 1400.
That's the low one, but still you can do something with it.
It's really low, but it's usable. One stick out of a 2 gig.
Yeah, it's Guile memory. They've got one stick of 8 gigabyte memory.
Out of a 16 gig kit.
Right, running at 2400, and it's overclockable too.
Yeah.
The Guile memory is a good, bit of memory, but now you're like, I guess you can upgrade later, but just one stick in there, so it's running in single channel.
Yeah.
Not the best for productivity, but it'll work for gaming just fine.
Everybody knows Ryzen really likes RAM speeds and really likes multiple amounts of RAM sticks in the system. So we didn't actually really notice that much of a problem with it, but it's something that's like...
It's a head scratcher.
It's a weird cut into the sort of like performance segment here. 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue hard drive, not bad, no SSD, but they've left the drives in there, or the cages in there, so you can put your own SSD in if you'd like.
The EVGA power supply, 450 watt power supply, and that's a good power supply, so you can't argue with that, and then the case.
And the case is a Fantex. I didn't end up finding the model number on it. I know a couple people in the community have these, so they'll probably go in the comments and be like, I have one, it's this. It's tailored specifically for CyberPower. They've got a little logo in there, a little indent for the logo and everything. But it's not a bad system. We picked it up for, what was it, $635?
$635. Now here's the deal. $635, and normally I would be like, guys, you can build something way faster for that. Right now, you could take this and either add to it or subtract from it and come out on top. So what we're gonna do with this thing, we played around with it for a little bit, but we're gonna start harvesting parts. We're gonna probably sell the system, maybe just pull out the graphics card, because that's worth like $400 on its own, or more than 400 on eBay.
Yeah.
Because that's the big problem here, guys, is the GPU market is ridiculous. Everyone wants to mine. So we're gonna take out the GPU and sell it to somebody who wants to mine Ethereum.
Probably end up putting a 1070 in there, because you can get a 1070 for $400.
But reselling this thing, looking to make maybe $200 or $300 profit, and then that'll pay his bills and buy us a glass of lemonade or something. I don't know.
We did look this up on Best Buy's website right now. They're $749.99, so you don't get the same deal that we get. But when you start factoring in how much the parts cost, you're still going to break even if you're going to buy this for parting out.
And I know the people over in PC Master Race are going to freak out, but I'm going to say, right now with the market the way it is, instead of just going online and looking at Newegg and looking at Amazon and being like, oh, I'm so angry, these people are buying these graphics cards and now I can't play games, which is what I hear is like, stop making money so I can play games. Instead of going online and yelling and screaming about that, go look at some of the pre-built systems. I know it's a bit ridiculous to think, well, I just want a graphics card, but think about getting the whole system. Now we've got, Ryzen R5, you can have a separate system, sell off all the pieces, whatever, and then you've still got the graphics card for around retail. It's a pain in the ass to sell them all off, but, if you're someone who's looking for a new system, it's okay to look at the pre-built systems from reasonable retailers and reasonable boutiques. All right, let's look at some benchmarks. You got some benchmarks for us, right?
I do.
Let's go through them.
Analog sheets of paper.
We're very high tech.
So we ran, because the 580 is a fairly decent mid-range card, we ran our benchmarks at 1440p, and we ran Doom, Shadow of Mordor, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And we ran Mankind Divided at DirectX 12, and we ran Doom at OpenGL. Yeah, I know, no Vulkan testing. Right now we don't have really time to dedicate to testing in Vulkan and getting results out of it, because it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Waiting on Fraps to update.
Don't tell them we use Fraps for benchmarking. We're gonna look horrible.
That's what everybody uses. Right?
Is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Unless they've got some newfangled command line thing that makes your sprouts come out here.
We're gonna have those people who be like, actually, guys, we're using benchmarks for this system. Doom at 1440p, max settings, ultra, massive difficulty, whatever. Average FPS at 64. Hey, it's over 60. Minimum's at 52. Okay, so it's dropping under 60 a little bit. But hey, we're not actually seeing a huge drop in performance for a single stick of RAM and for a bog standard RX 580 4 gig. That's not bad. And we're seeing a frame time at 15.6.
The bottom line for us is like, if you can game at 1440, you can really game at 1080 with pretty much all your settings maxed out.
Exactly.
And, turning down a few filters here, you may be able to game with some of these games at 4K at well above 30, 40 FPS. But 1440 is kind of the sweet spot for this system.
It is, yeah. So Shadow of Mordor at 1440, 54 FPS average, 43 FPS minimum, so still above 30, which is still decent. It's not 60 perfect, but hey, you know what? Over 30 is still playable in my book. Some of you may disagree. And then 18.5 on our frame times. You know, that's not bad. Anything under 20, I think we've said this in multiple videos, but anything under 20 is really not bad. That's decent enough for an everyday gamer.
The Lift Tech engine is freaking smooth.
It really is, yeah.
Even when sometimes I'll be playing the game and I'm like, it doesn't. I'm not actually getting a very good FPS right now at 4K, but it feels good. What have they done? Whether there's some kind of magic they've done to that engine, I don't know.
They have. It doesn't stutter very often, I've noticed.
That's probably what it is.
When you look at the frame times, it's very tight.
Very smooth.
Yeah. And then of course Deus Ex, we got at 1440p, 39 FPS average, 32 minimum, again staying over 30, and then 25 on our frame time. Those are all in milliseconds, by the way, I didn't mention that. I would say that even though it's straddling that 30 FPS line, it still looked great, and I was running that at full frame, you know, full 1440p, with all the anti-aliasing on, without MSAA. I did not run MSAA, because that just destroys the systems, but 16 times normal anisotropic filtering and normal AA, and we got pretty decent results. So turn a couple settings down, you get some decent 16 FPS or 60 FPS minimums, and call it good.
You do want to overclock the CPU, because without the overclock, it feels a little sluggish.
Yeah,
compared to some of the modern stuff.
Yeah, and we did some CPU benchmarks just to kind of give an idea of how this system sort of sits in if you're going to be doing any kind of, you know, workflow on it. We ran the market staple Cinebench, and this is overclocked. The stock CPU, I believe, is 3.2, and we overclocked it up to 3.6 on the stock cooler. That little stock cooler is very similar to the old Phenom 2 stock coolers with the heat pipes through them.
And it just looks like a generic, nice Cooler Master for the size. I mean, it's not nice, but it's tiny. Yeah,
it's a Cooler Master cooler. It's not, but hey, we got 400 megahertz overclock out of it, and started creeping up toward our Ryzen 5 1500X scores, which if you want to watch that video, it's in the playlist. I think we'll put links to it as well.
You have no choice. You have to watch that video.
You do actually have to watch that video. If you don't, he's going to come to your house, hide under your couch, and kill your cats. Or just take them to his van full of cats. Cinebench, single threaded testing, 130, so 750 and 130, and it puts it right above the 4790K at stock. So that's not bad for a quad-core 8-thread. So, and our original score was 105 and 590, which puts it below a 4690. You know, that's pretty slim. And it was actually, I have a 6-core Phenom 2 that was beating it.
It's like, what the hell? So
yeah.
It really needs that little bump in frequency.
You do. You need to give it that bump, because it'll bring it right up to where it's supposed to be. Rising scales really well with clock rate, and I didn't even add any voltage to it. We ran H.265 encoding, again, kind of if you want to do video editing on the side, see if the CPU can do it. At 1080p, we were getting 14.47 FPS, and our 3.5 minute video took 1 minute and 45, or 1 minute and 9, my bad. And then 2160p, so 4K, it was 4.26 FPS, and it took 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So if you want to do some standard video editing, maybe you like to do streaming on the side and you want to edit some videos, some highlights, and put them out on YouTube, you can totally do that on this system. Just get more RAM.
Yeah, you buy another stick of RAM.
And then we did a decode as well. This one goes from 720p to 2160. So at 720p, we got 121 FPS. At 1080p, we got 91 FPS. And at 2160p, we got 36 FPS.
Okay.
So for decoding H.265 or HEVC, it totally rocks. I mean, again, it's Ryzen.
I'm still going to build my own, and if you've got a couple extra bucks, still build your own, but if you're on an extreme budget, and if you're wily, you got to be wily because you're going to need to sell some of these pieces and stuff, and not everything in there is something you're going to want to keep, and you're going to want an SSD if you're getting serious, but in this price range, wily people should look at this. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. Guys, grab a shirt, would you? That one's awesome.
It is.
That's one of our best sellers right there.
This is an awesome shirt. And get it in tri-blend. It's amazingly soft. Oh.
Yeah, if you guys show up, somewhere in Portland wearing a tri-blend, I will come and feel it on you. Yeah, doctor says that since I wasn't handled enough as a kid, I need to have more physical contact as an adult, so this is going to help all of us here, guys.
Yeah. That's also how you're going to avoid him coming to your house, hiding under your couch, or taking your cats.
Try us.
Also, check us out on Patreon, because your contributions help us do stuff like this. Hey, we love all our patrons. We put out videos every month that show awesome stuff behind the scenes. You come see. Check out our Discord, where most of our people hang out. Our forums, you know, if you want to. We put out videos all the time up there and sort of give updates.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. You know, it's getting there. It's getting there. But our Discord is totally active all the time, and there should be links in the description for all of that. And, hey, if you want to buy anything on Amazon, there's a whole bunch of stuff down there. We think we're going to have a link to this, but if not, we'll have a link to some parts that relate to it. This is
All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Cut that down! Cut it into something useful, damn it! I'm sorry, Steph, I love you. Don't hurt me. This isn't making it in the video. Please. Worth it. If you want to make your money on it, worth it.
If you order now, you get a free slap it, chop it.
If you slap it, chop it, it still works.